wisdom of 101 famous poems. Spoken and with commentary by E. T. Hansen. Letter to a Young Friend by Robert Burns. I have long thought, my youthful friend, of something to have sent you, though it should serve no other end than just a kind memento. But how the subject theme may go, let time and chance determine. Perhaps it may turn out a song, perhaps turn out a sermon. You will try the world soon, my lad, and Andrew dear, believe me, you will find mankind a strange squad, and much they may grieve you. For care and trouble set your thought, even when your end is attained, and all your views may come to nothing, where every nerve is strained. I will not say men are villains all. The real hardened wicked, who have no check but human law, are to a few restricted. But, oh, mankind are mighty weak, and little to be trusted. If self the wavering balance shake, it is rarely right adjusted. Yet they who fall in fortune's strife, their fate we should not censure, for still the important end of life they equally may answer. A man may have an honest heart, though poverty hourly stares him. A man may take a neighbor's part, yet have no cash to spare him. Always free, offhand, your story tell when with a bosom crony. But still, keep something to yourself you scarcely tell to anybody. Conceal yourself as well you can from critical dissection, but pry through every other man with sharpened, sly inspection. The sacred flame of well-placed love luxuriantly indulge it, but never attempt the illicit rove, though nothing should divulge it. I waive the quantum of the sin, the hazard of concealing, but oh, it hardens all within and petrifies the feeling. To catch Dame Fortune's golden smile, assiduously wait upon her, and gather wealth by every wile that is justified by honor, not for to hide it in a hedge, nor for a train attendant, but for the glorious privilege of being independent. The fear of hell is a hangman's whip to hold the wretch in order. But where you feel your honor grip, let that always be your border. Its slightest touch, instantly pause, debar all side pretenses, and resolutely keep its laws, uncaring of consequences. The great Creator to revere must sure become the creature, but still the preaching cannot forbear, and even the rigid feature, yet never with wits profane to range be complacence extended. An atheist laugh is a poor exchange for deity offended. When frolicking round in pleasure's ring, religion may be blinded, or if she gives a random sting, it may be little-minded. But when on life we are tempest-driven, a conscience but a canker, a correspondence fixed with heaven, is sure a noble anchor. Adieu, dear amiable youth, your heart can never be wanting. May prudence, fortitude, and truth erect your brow undaunting. In plowman phrase, God send you speed. Still daily to grow wiser, and may you better heed the counsel than ever did the adviser. The best advice I never listened to. If not listening to good advice were an art, the world would celebrate me as a genius. When I was a kid, full of myself and my glorious dreams of becoming a famous writer, did my father encourage me? No. Did he praise my talent and my ambition? No. He told me to be sure to get a day job. What a terrible father he was. How cruel, how soul-crushing. He didn't want me to follow my dream. He didn't want me to be my best self. He wanted me to conform to some outdated idea of living a life in the rank and file of soulless sheep in some two-car garage pre-made home in the dreary suburbs. I was insulted, but I was strong, determined, defiant, like they told me to be in the movies. I would not betray my dream, and so I ignored his advice. When I eventually became a writer, I was proud of my accomplishment, and I enjoyed the gratification of proving my father wrong. But I was also shocked to find out how precarious the life of a professional writer is. There's no guarantee you will sell the book you've labored over for so many years, and when you do, if it doesn't sell well in the bookstores, no one is going to pay you very much for your next book. The average professional writer never knows what their annual income will be, and very often they don't know if they can pay the rent at the end of the month. After a few years of this, I realized I needed a day job. When I fell in love, I was very young, and she was very young. But love conquers all, doesn't it? At least that's what they say in the pop songs. When they told us we were too young and maybe we should wait a few years before making the big commitment, we didn't listen. We followed our hearts and laughed at the doubters. Years later, when we got divorced, neither of us regretted the marriage. Neither of us hated the other. We just become too different as we grew up, that's all. It's easy to be in love when you're young and not yet fully formed, but when you become who you are, what you need from love changes. As we wistfully said goodbye in a little cafe in Berlin after our court date, we remembered that little bit of advice we ignored so long ago, and we both had to admit we'd been too young. It's amazing how much good advice people, especially older people, have and are willing to give you for free. Older people are very generous with advice they didn't listen to when they were young. I'm one of those older guys now, and I find myself dispensing good advice left and right, even as I scramble to learn it. Well, better late than never. Not too long ago, I was talking to an ambitious, talented young man, a musician who had just landed his first good job in a local club, playing with his band once a week. He assured me that he wouldn't be there long. He had big plans. He expected to be touring the world and playing arenas within the next 5 years or so. I smiled and reassured him that he was very talented, and I was sure he would go far, but I also cautioned, things don't always turn out the way you think they will. It's good to have a backup plan, some other profession or skill, some kind of stable financial income to fall back on when things get tight. He laughed then and looked at me as if I were a pitiable creature. I just didn't get it. I didn't see the visions he saw. I didn't know the power of talent and passion and a great dream. I think he felt sorry for me. "Don't worry about me," he said. "I know what I'm doing." That was 5 years ago. I don't know where he is now, or if he's playing his funky guitar in big arenas. I hope he made it, or soon will. But one thing I'm pretty sure of. There are times when he, too, looks back on his life now and remembers all the great advice his friends and family, his teachers and parents gave him, and thinks to himself, maybe I'm old enough now to listen. About Robert Burns. Robert Burns, 1759 to 1796, is probably the most famous of Scottish poets and is best known for his romantic poems in Scots dialect. Burns was born into a poor farming family in Alloway, Scotland, and his early life of hard manual labor left him with a premature stoop and a weak constitution. His schooling was modest, yet he began writing poetry early. He tried several jobs, including bookkeeping, but never successfully, and had affairs with multiple women, sometimes simultaneously, to whom he wrote many of his great poems. He married Jean Armour, who gave him 9 children, 3 of which survived childhood. His first volume of poetry made him an overnight sensation, and with success he moved to Edinburgh to pursue the literary life, writing poetry, songs, and articles. He later championed democracy and the American and French revolutions, which made him enemies. He died at 37 of a heart condition following a period of declining health. Burns is best known for his poem and song, Auld Lang Syne, which is traditionally sung on New Year's Eve. Other famous poems include A Red, Red Rose, A Man's a Man for That, To a Louse, To a Mouse, Tam O'Shanter, and A Fond Kiss.